Welcome to Nestology. We are your hosts. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Shelley.
And today we're going to talk about transitions with a new home.
Ooh.
This is a little more complicated than people sometimes think.
Can be tricky.
They own a house. They call us. They're like, we want a bigger house. And we start asking questions like, are you going to sell your house? Do you need to sell your house?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to live in between? And they're like, oh,
I don't know. I don't know yet.
We thought we would just do them together at the same time. So, which you can.
Yes.
That gets really,
does happen.
You can. It gets tricky and depends on the market. But yeah, we just kind of thought we would talk through some options. So that way, if you're thinking about a move, you can start to kind of process which way and plan
accordingly.
Plan is good.
Absolutely.
So yeah, don't just go start looking at houses and get all excited. So you need to have a plan in place. It's a big deal. So it's different than going from a rental where you have a lease end date and you just move out. And so simultaneously, I guess we'll kind of talk about that first, because that's obviously what most people want to do. The problem
and
there.
What do you mean by that, though? Let's back up a minute. Simultaneous close. What exactly does that mean, Jessica?
It means you're going to close on both at the same time.
Same day.
Same day. And you're trying to time it like, hopefully you can get what we call a lease back on your current house. So you can stay there for a week or two to give you that time to move. Because if you don't have that, you have to have everything in a moving truck that day and then unload. Same day. So everything's going to be living in a moving truck. So it takes a lot of coordination with both transactions, and it can make for a domino effect. So one falls through for one reason or another, the other one's going to fall through too. And you're having to try and time it. Like, how long is your house that you're selling going to be on the market? Because can you write offers yet? Or, what if your house goes under contract before you find the next one? So there can be a lot of stress involved. So if stress is not good for you,
I don't think stress is good for anybody.
If you're a person who can't handle that, you may want to look at something else. It's going to be stressful until the very end because, again, anything happens. If you have a delay on one side, it will affect the other. And very often you have a lot of money invested with inspections and, earnest money. So you may lose money on this if everything falls apart. So it is especially difficult if it's an extreme market, extreme buyer or extreme seller market. It works out best when it's kind of a balanced market. Like, you're not going to be in bidding wars and losing out on houses, because the way that you're typically going to do this is you're going to have to write the offer contingent on the sale of your home. So you're having to...
What does that mean?
You're having to tell the seller of the house you want to buy that you're only going to buy it if your house sells. And that's risky.
That window of time.
Yeah. And that's risky for them because they have to count on your house selling and they have no control over that. So sellers don't always love to take those contingencies. So you need it to be a market where the sellers don't have other options. But also not such an extreme buyer's market that your house is going to take 6 months to sell. So a more balanced market, maybe favoring buyers a little bit, will help you to get that contingency accepted. Now, one of the other ways you can do it, you can buy first or sell first. So which one should we tackle?
Which one do you want to tackle first? So what if you sell first?
Sell first. Well, you may end up homeless.
Oh boy. Okay. So you sell your house and then you don't have a place to live. Maybe.
So focus on selling first. You put your house on the market. This is going to be a situation like you can't qualify to buy a house and have 2 mortgages. That's not going to be an option for you. Or, maybe it's a quick thing. You are relocating to a new area. You may just have to go ahead and sell. If it's a situation where the market is really intense for sellers, like, go ahead and sell, max out. You get those bidding wars. That's fantastic. But you do have to be prepared. If you don't find something right away, where are you going to live?
Where are you going to live?
Temporary housing. Go on to Furnish Finders or Airbnb and find something to rent. I mean, there is that option. But a lot of this comes down to your own personal needs, your situation, because if you have 3 little ones and 2 dogs and 2 cats, like, okay, it's hard to find a furnished rental or Airbnb that takes 4 animals. I've encountered this with clients. They had a last minute thing happen where their new construction got delayed and they had 4 pets. Nobody takes 4 pets.
Oh goodness. Yeah. That would be a challenge.
But I have seen, where I've had a couple that's kid free, pet free, and they're like, we can go crash, mom and dad's guest room for a few months. It's no big deal to them. So if you're in that situation where that's not a big deal, you can put everything in storage. You can take your time looking. that may be an option for you. The good thing there is that you know exactly what you're getting from your house because it's done.
Right.
You have the money in the bank. You're not having to make guesses about what you're going to end up with when trying to buy a house. So it makes it very easy, and you can go write really strong offers because you've got the money in the bank.
It's already there.
So
the other option,
buy first. So this is going to pull Shelley in here a little bit. First, you can qualify for 2 mortgages. Some people can. I see it happen where, we have what we're working on right now.
Absolutely.
They qualify to buy another house and they don't have to sell their house. They don't have to have it rented. Easy peasy because they're buying. Well, their credit's amazing. They've been great savers. So
sure, but here's the thing though. Some people just don't want to do that. They may be able to qualify, but they may not want to carry 2 mortgages.
Oh, why don't people want 2 mortgages?
I'm like, would you? Now granted, just keep in mind when you do buy a new house, just when you've got a new mortgage, you are going to skip 1 month. So take that into consideration with your planning, right? Because the first mortgage payment on the new home doesn't start until typically a month after you close.
Correct. So it does give you a little bit of cushion. The buying first, where this can be really beneficial is for, let's say, the family who wants to only buy if they find the perfect home. It's not a necessary move. Like they have to sell the house that they're in, like a relocation. It's if the perfect house, like we want this, they have this dream of this acre lot and, this certain type of home in a certain school district. And if it doesn't happen for 3 years, they're fine. Right. If they're happy to stay in their current home until the perfect home comes along, you don't want to sell and then be homeless for 3 years while you're waiting on the perfect home.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the situation you're in, you need to be prepared in advance, knowing the financial situation, having that plan in place, but you may be okay having a couple months of overlap, get that house that you really want when it comes on, and then figure out the selling.
Right.
It also means you don't have to live in your house while you're showing it because that is a pain in the butt.
That can be tricky, especially with kids and pets and life in general.
Yep. It is really annoying. And we see it all the time. Somebody no-shows or they show up late and you've already been out of your house for an hour. Now you have to wait longer because they are taking longer in the house. It's such an annoyance. It's also nice if you have to do some repairs. Say like you have old carpet, get moved out, get into the new house, do some things to get the house staged and ready, replace the carpets, do some touch-up painting. Then you can put it on the market. So that is where I see a lot of people who do like that. Well, and we just recently had our call with Kathy, and she talked about that. I see that a lot for seniors who don't want to go through the hassle of trying to stage their home every time they're showing it. It could be really nice for them to move into their active adult community or the, memory care facility, wherever they're going. Because can you imagine like your mom being at her house when she was showing it?
Oh gosh, no.
There's no way. It physically wouldn't have happened. So yes, moving her first, then worry about selling the house while it's empty, and it makes showing so easy.
Absolutely. So we do have options for this.
There are. Now, what are some ways that people can do this on your side with the lending for them to be able to buy first and then sell like bridge loans and things like that?
Yeah, we do have some different things we can do. So one is we have a program, buy before you sell. Go figure. That's what we call it.
It's such a clever name.
Isn't it? So, basically in that scenario is that we are going to utilize the equity in your current home as a down payment for your new home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yes, there's a little bit more to it, but you're going to maintain both homes.
Yeah.
Right. And you qualify. But the really cool thing about this is that when you're pulling that, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. You can use the equity in your home up to a certain amount. Okay. I do those calculations for you.
Yeah.
So assuming you do have some equity in that home, we can pull out a certain percentage, use that as your down payment. And we don't have to count that housing payment on your current home with this particular program in your debt to income ratio calculation. So I'm not qualifying you with 2 mortgage payments, only the new mortgage payment.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of cool in this particular case, because this program that we've got available does allow a 120-day guarantee for the home to be sold after closing.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I like the fact for me, because I'm a math nerd, because I have to be, because I do mortgages, the fact that I don't have to count 2 housing payments against you is really, really nice. because it really impacts more than you think. It's not just the 2 mortgage payments, but if you think about calculating out, for example, your interest rate, there's quite a few variables that go into determining the best interest rate for you. And one is we do look at the debt to income ratio. When it's lower, you could potentially have a lower interest rate.
Gotcha.
So it really benefits you in more than you think.
Well, I mean, so we did a whole HELOC, home equity line of credit.
Correct.
Episode where we kind of talked about using that, tapping into your equity for down payment on your new home. So what are some of the pros and cons between something like this, like the buy before you sell versus doing a HELOC?
Goodness. Okay. So yeah, they're 2 totally different things. The HELOC, I do have to count the payment.
Right.
That's major right there. Right?
Yeah.
The HELOC also could have a minimum payment due depending on when the other house sells.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So on this one, there is no payment for using your equity now on the buy before you sell. Right. So there's no minimum payment, and we don't have to count that housing payment in the debt to income ratios.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess people could look at both options though and just see what makes more sense for their own situation.
Absolutely. There are differences in fees and things, because the fees can be a little bit higher on the buy before you sell, right? Because basically this program is going to guarantee your home, your current home is going to sell with 120 days. And if it doesn't, they buy the house, which is very rare. It really doesn't happen, but.
Right. But I mean, it is a guarantee, because some people, when they're thinking about that, yes, of course, we hope your house sells in 120 days, but what if it doesn't? I mean, if they're counting on it not having 2 mortgages, I mean, unfortunately,
you're paying for the convenience.
You're paying for that, so that makes sense. But if you want that guarantee in there to have your home sold,
correct?
Because I've seen over the last couple of years, as the market's been slower, depending on what area people are in, I've seen people who have carried 2 mortgages for over 6 months while they were trying to get homes sold. I mean, this goes very market specific, but I have seen that happen before.
Right. And so on the HELOC, you're still going to have that mortgage payment.
Right.
On your current home.
Yeah.
So that's potentially a HELOC payment.
Yeah.
Then we have to qualify for both.
So in any of these scenarios, the best thing to do, talk to be very upfront with your lender, your agent, explain your situation and the why, what you're hoping to accomplish, because then we can, as a team, help to guide you.
Absolutely. Because we're going to walk through all the different options that you have available. And then you can make a decision that works best for you in your, specific situation.
Because on the flip side, I've had some people who, if their house doesn't sell, they'd prefer to rent it or something. So there's other avenues to consider. So figuring out which one works best for your needs. Yeah.
The buy before you sell, you can submit an offer that is non-contingent.
That's
because
true.
Of the guarantee that the house will be sold.
Yes, which is really nice. Right now in this market, it is a little more balanced. Honestly, I'll say DFW may be a little more favoring buyers. So I'm seeing contingencies accepted. Now, not everybody loves them. So maybe they want your house already under contract. So get on the market. You have to get your house under contract. But it's not like it was before. Back in 2021, I would laugh at offers that had a contingency. It was ridiculous to even think about putting it in there. So we are in a place where you could do it. But if interest rates come down, we've been hoping for 3 years, Shelley, why are the rates not coming down?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but they did. They went down and then they went up and then they went back down.
Well, there's a lot of news going on right now that is impacting the rates. But hey, they're getting a little bit better. This week's been way better than last week.
I know. So, if we do, which I'm hoping by summertime, we see some lower rates, but it will mean more competition. We've talked about that before. So when you have competition, you're not going to get your contingent offer accepted.
Right.
So
this would be a perfect program for that.
And I've seen it. So there are other programs like this. Different companies offer them. So I've seen this before, in that it's in a market where it's a very heavy seller's market, where that becomes, more prominent, that we see something like that being used.
Right.
Now, I will say, for those, if you see those ads, if you see, you're on Facebook and you see, because there are numerous companies out there that do this, be careful about where you're putting your information, and they're not your representative. Have your team still help you, have your agent, have your lender talk you through. Ask your lender about these programs, because like Shelley has one that she does. if you go on and you click these links, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have your phone number and your email sold to so many people.
You're going to get blown up.
Your phone will get blown up because they are going to take it. It's a lead generation system. So they'll send it out to a bunch of lenders who offer the product. So like the product, maybe like this called ABC, but the lenders that offer it, they're going to send it to everyone. So you're going to just get bombarded. You'll be on everybody's spam list and
it's not fun.
You will cry because I accidentally clicked the wrong button one time. I meant to click one button and I clicked contact lenders and I had 50 lenders. Oh my gosh, really? My phone was blowing up. It was a for sale by owner property. And I wanted to click to get the owner's info to call them for my clients who were interested in it. And I clicked the lender button instead. And oh my gosh, all day I was like, no, I don't need a lender. I'm not even the buyer. I am an agent. It was so annoying.
Go through your trusted people that you're already talking to for this.
Because again, if you go through the company that offers the product too, obviously that's their product, but they're not going to be looking at the big picture for you to see, like, is there something different? Because like for Shelly, yes, she can offer it, but she offers everything else as well. So she can say, no, that's not going to work best for you. What you really should do based on your scenario is this.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Yes. Have your trusted advisor. Any other products that you guys have that would help with this kind of transition? So the buy before you sell, you said you do HELOCs too.
HELOCs too. I mean, there is a bridge loan product as well.
How does that?
And that's basically where, it's so similar to these. So
just a different name.
It is. It just, because basically this buy before you sell, they do consider that, a zero interest bridge loan.
Okay.
Right. And so, yeah, just be careful.
I guess that makes sense.
Just talk to your lender about it. I don't want to get any confusion on it. So
that is a good point because bridge loans, that's not a new thing. So this whole buy before you sell, I guess is just
it's
packaged.
A bridge loan.
It's a bridge loan that's packaged in a pretty way.
The gap, right, between the two houses. And that's where they came up with this. And so, this particular program doesn't have, an interest rate associated with it, but a home equity line of credit does.
Yeah.
Right. So it has a payment and interest rate associated with it. And then you're still making your current mortgage payment as well.
Right.
So all the options, but talk to your lender about it and just kind of see what the options are. And then, kind of figure out what you would prefer to do, because I do have a lot of clients that they can qualify for 2 mortgages, but they don't want to.
No, a lot of people don't want to do that. So having something like that, or, like I said, you can, especially based on the market, you might be able to do something different where you can do a simultaneous, like contingency type deal. But this is where you need to study the market with your agent and know what options because some people are like, sure, I'll carry 2 mortgages, but they don't qualify for it.
Well, right.
Their debt to income's already maxed out.
And you've got to have equity. Here's the other thing, right? Because if you bought a house last year and, maybe you put 3% down, great. But
or nothing.
There are 0 down options. So if you don't have enough equity, these options are not going to be the way to go. This is really going to be geared towards people who, maybe have been in the house for quite some time or put some money down. So there's equity available to be pulled out. Yes.
Ooh.
So just to give you an idea, I'll just do, I'm sorry, math nerd here, but rough calculations just to let you know in this program. This is, guys, very, very rough. Okay. This could vary.
We're holding you to it.
As I always say, it's an estimate, but let's just say you're able to, on the buy before you sell, access up to, 70 to 75% of your equity.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can do that calculation. Okay. So what is the value of your home times, say, 70%? Well, you do have to back out if you have a current mortgage.
Yeah.
That's part of that. So 70%, yay, that's a lot. But what are you currently paying on?
Right.
What's your loan balance? So then we take that out. And basically that difference is the amount of equity that we could unlock for purposes of the buy before you sell.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm going to throw a little wrench in here because it did make, when I said 0% down, VA, that's a whole other ballgame though, because if somebody has a home that they own with a VA loan and they want to buy another house because of their benefits.
You're going to throw that wrench in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for those who may be listening that have a VA loan and they want to do another VA loan, you can, but you usually have to sell first, right?
Not necessarily, no.
So there's ways to act.
There are ways to do it. No,
okay.
I love the VA loans. They are just the best loan out there, honestly.
No.
Obviously, you have to be a vet and you have earned the right to put zero down, right?
Yes.
But there's not going to be a lot of equity. So these programs we're talking about, buy before you sell, probably not going to work. But in the situation where you have a VA buyer buying another property and maybe they want to keep that first home as an investment property, you absolutely can do that.
Okay.
So you can utilize, we're going to get really deep in the weeds on the financial side here, but there is what's called an entitlement amount. So every veteran has a certain amount that allows them to do a zero down loan program.
Yeah.
So depending on the loan amount on what they owe, we lenders do a calculation to determine how much entitlement is remaining to be utilized for the new home purchase.
Yeah.
To determine if, so you can definitely buy the other house. The question is, can you zero down or are you going to need a small down payment?
Gotcha.
It depends on how much entitlement is used.
How much you've already
used.
So
we have, fun calculators that we calculate that out for you, but you absolutely can have two.
It's a common thing that comes up with people asking because they own the home, but it depends on if they have the cash to bring the difference. And so there's just some extra things to be aware of and run some numbers on to make sure that you can do what you're wanting to do.
Absolutely. Talk to your lender.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And we'll have some links with some of this info in the show notes and on our socials. You can find us. It's Nestology Podcast on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you for joining us, where we help you make the best of your nest.
Bye.
Bye.